Welcome to another episode of the Journey series with Truthfully Evolving. Today I just want to talk about transitioning. And transitioning is a state or process of change from one form to another, state to another, um, style to another. It's just moving into another phase. And let me tell you one thing I've noticed about transitioning. One thing I've noticed about transitioning is the fact that it's a phase, a state that is unknown to you. It's like, let's say, you're traveling to a country you've never been to before for the first time, and you get to the country, everything is new to you, the people, the culture, their way of living, the food, everything is different to you. And prior to that time, okay, you'll be staying here for a long period of time, and the only option for you, the only option, okay, is for you to adapt, is for you to embrace the culture, embrace the place, embrace the people, love the language and all of that, the food. And by you doing that, okay, for the first week of you coming into the country, you might not feel welcomed, okay, because you're new to the place, and it's a place you've never been to before, so you're just adjusting, you're trying to see what are the pros, the cons, okay, the do's, the don'ts, the rules and regulations, and you're just trying to be okay, obedient in regards to the policies in the country. So but as time goes on, you try to adapt and you learn the language, you love the food, you just find yourself loving something about the country. And that for me is transitioning, because for one, you moved from a place of certainty to a place of uncertainty. You move from the known to the unknown, and that's what transitioning does. Like, you see how far and how well you've improved as a person. Okay, let's say for instance, there are people that will say, oh, I can never be in this place, or I can never do these things, or I can never do that thing, right? And at the end of the day, years later, they find themselves still doing that same thing, and they don't have any choice but to adapt to that. And at the end of the day, they might even end up loving it. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. When you are in a space where you are transitioning, there are things that you experience. For look, lots of things. Let me use one instance. Say, for me, when my soul needs to make a change, one thing I know for a fact that I feel depressed. That's number one thing I feel like whenever I know my I'm about to transition to a new phase. I feel depressed, and this is my body reacting to how I feel on the outside, because my body is not, is like new to this, okay. My self, my true self, my soul is new to this. So there has to be an adjustment, there has to be like an alignment. So if I feel depressed, that means I am not, my body is not in alignment with my soul needs. So for many of you, you might be going through, or you are about to, okay, if you're not, you're about to, you you're about to experience a transitioning, okay. And this could be mentally, the kind of things, the way you think, okay. Maybe this could be belief system, the way you see things. This could be diverse ways, but maybe like mental state as well. But allow yourself, change into its truest form. Allow yourself to embrace this newness, this new part of yourself that you are new to, okay, that you are unknown, that you are in the dark about, okay. Allow yourself to truly experience your soul truth, and to know who you are, because if you don't walk into the unknown, you won't even know who you are. So for you to truly know who you are, you have to dive into the unknown. And it is really really scary for many people, because they don't want to experience something that they've never experienced before. People are more comfortable being in a space where they just, all they know is or all they see is what they are holding on to. But other times, for you to grow as a person, for you to elevate, you need to come out of your shell, you need to step out of your comfort zone, and you need to embrace the unknown. And that's what this phase is teaching you, this transitioning stage. Let me talk about myself. Let me give you an instance. Okay, say for instance, I had certain beliefs, okay, in the past, and those were beliefs that I grew up with. Okay, those were beliefs that I've held on to for a long time. And prior to my journey, one thing that I learned over time was to unlearn and learn. And that's really how you grow, and that's how you become a better version of yourself in regards to the journey. You have to be in this space where you are open to learning new things, you're open to letting go of certain things, okay? And it's fine if it's really really okay, okay, that's part of you growing. But in this sense, in reference to the topic for today, which is transitioning, many of you are moving in a state where there are things that you won't, part of yourselves that you won't even recognize anymore, and you just have to be okay with that, okay? There are part of yourselves that is about to die. I mean, like die, not physically, but part of yourselves that needs to go for you to move into this new path, okay? And you have to just be open to that, okay? Because what this is trying to do is, um if you feel depressed, if you feel fear, if you feel doubt, if you feel anxiety, those for me are the signs and symptoms that you are moving into a new phase. And the new phase is a phase where you are about to tap into your true self. But fear and doubt and anxiety are like blockages to deter you from getting to that point. So if you give into that, automatically you've already surrendered, and when you surrender to that, you become a slave. So it is really really important, like, you know how you feel. If this is something that you know the way you feel is quite different from norms, that is because your body is adjusting to your soul needs, okay? Is adjusting to your soul truth, is adjusting to the real you, and it's taking time. So those, the way you feel, the depression, the fear, the doubt, the anxiety, those are parts of the processes, because your body, the old self, is trying to adjust to this new self. So it's like a back and forth kind of emotion. So you could feel triggered in this time, like maybe you feel like you're doing something wrong, you feel like you're breaking the rules, you feel like you're going beyond the usual, you feel like you're doing something wrong, right? And that's where trigger comes in. And when you feel triggered, that means you are going to the right direction, to be honest. Because when you feel triggered, it's like, with trigger, what it gives me is a warning sign. Oh, babe, 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 don't go there, don't do that. But in this sense, why you feel triggered is because your soul wants to live in its truest form, right? And your ego is trying to trigger you and tell you, don't do that, don't give in, because the ego wants to be in control at all times. So when you feel triggered, is the sense of saying you're about to move into a phase that you are on, that is unknown to you, but is the best version of yourself. So you feeling trigger is your ego trying to tell you, don't leave me here, take me along with you. And for you to move into your soul truth, you have to be dead to the ego. Like, you have to go through the ego death. And why you feel triggered is because the ego doesn't want you to move into your truest form. And I hope this makes sense for somebody. And I can easily say this because this is what I experienced firsthand, and that's why I can share that. But I'm not saying it is 100% truth, but this is what I've experienced, and I don't know if there's anyone experiencing that. But I just feel the need to talk about transitioning. I feel like many of you could be going through mental imbalance at the moment, where you're feeling, maybe you feel frustrated, you feel uneasy, you don't know why you feel the way you feel. And that's because you're transitioning. Transition is different from people, for people, to be honest. I went through the phase where, while I was in my transitioning season, letting go of the old and welcoming the new, I had to deal with depression, I had to deal with anxiety, with fear and doubt. It was more of mental state. So many of you are really in this season, right, dealing with mental um mental, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it mental bugs? Yeah, maybe mental bugs. Like you feel like your mind is clogged with so much. You're fighting so much your mindset. You're going through the mind. And let me tell you also one thing that I know for a fact. I don't know about others. I'm speaking for myself, right? What this journey has taught me was, I really thought that the problem was other people and not myself until I realized that I am my own problem. So, which is my mindset. I didn't know that I needed to fix my mindset. I was so focused on, you know, attacking the devil. The devil is after me. The devil is an enemy. The and devil is this. And all along, it was just me not being in control of my mind. And I'm not saying the devil is not playing any role in that. Okay, maybe did not play any role in that, but I needed to realize that at the end of the day, it is what I give power to that becomes powerful in my life. So I moved the attention from focus on the devil to focusing on myself. And I was so keen on reconstructing my mind, and it was really, really hard because I dealt with a lot of, there was so many things like I really dealt with in the mind state, right? I dealt with lack. That's one thing that I struggled with. I dealt with poverty mentality. That was one thing I really struggled with. And being able to, put myself in a place where I had to learn how to control my mind. That was where every limiting factor had to break loose. Like that was the beginning of everything. So I'm speaking to someone that is really going through the mental transformation. You're going through the mental transitioning. So there are things that will come up in this season. They will trigger you, okay, past emotions and all of that will trigger you to make you feel like you're doing the wrong thing. But trust me, you are adjusting to your true self, you are adjusting to your real self. And when you are in that motion, these are the things that you experience: depression, suicidal thoughts, and fear, doubt, anxiety, trigger. All of those stuff will come up, to be honest, and that's because you are letting go of the old and welcoming the new. So this is what you experience. Okay, so your soul and your mind has to be in balance. That's why you're going through what you're going through. That's why you feel triggered. Your soul, okay, and your mind has to be in balance. That's why everything that you're experiencing in this season, it is because of that. And you also need to understand that elevation does not just happen overnight. It takes time. So your soul is about to elevate, your mindset is about to elevate, you're about to grow spiritually, physically, mentally, intellectually, emotionally, and otherwise. So during this phase, during that passage where you're moving from one phase to another phase, you're jumping from one phase to another phase, right? Your body experienced you notice that you experience your body go through another change, okay, another process, your mind, another process. You start thinking differently, you start acting differently. And when you come in alignment with that, when you get to that state of equilibrium, okay, that means you are in your balanced state. And that's what your mind and your soul is trying to, you know is working so hard to do in this season. So give yourself that time and grace, and allow yourself, allow God, allow the universe, allow the divine do the work. Okay, it's not an outside thing, it's not an external thing, it's an internal thing. So give yourself that space to grow. Don't Nobody's attacking you, you're just experiencing something. So that's what it is. So for me, this is you moving from low vibrational energy to high vibrational energy, which means that you're moving from the 3D to the 4D, possibly 5D, okay? And you are in the space where all things don't and does not serve you anymore, and this you're welcoming the new. And I'm also getting, like, many of you this season, you could also things are happening quickly for you, okay? This change that you're experiencing is happening quickly for you, okay? It's like the divine called a state of emergency, okay? And you just have to allow yourself be in that space where you allow yourself experience what it is you're experiencing. Don't give in to depression, don't give in to fear, don't give in to doubt, don't give in to any of those feelings, okay? But your mindset should be I am transitioning, I am growing, I am learning. Okay, for me, one thing I notice in regards to my journey is whenever I'm going through DNA activation, I know I'm going through that. So my focus is, okay, what part of myself am I, what am I healing, or what am I doing, or what, that's where my focus is. So for you, I don't know if you know this already, but that's what you're experiencing. So if you're dealing with the mental, there is this your mindset, it's like someone is playing video game in your head. There's so much going on in your head. This is because you, my friend, you are in a transitioning stage. You're transitioning, you're moving from your old self to your new self. You're moving from low vibrational energy to high vibrational energy. And so you need to listen to your body this season. Listen to your body and connect more within. Okay, go within, connect more. You can also ground yourself, maybe go out in nature, spend time in nature. That's really helped me as well. Okay, just seek more, like connect more, seek within, like ask questions within, and you get answers. Okay, so I'm really really rooting for you in regards to your journey as you are transitioning. I pray that God gives you the grace to move to your next season, to your next phase, unhurt, untouched, and unharmed. Okay, and I really truly pray that this journey teaches you more about yourself, okay, and also connects you to God, and also explore you and teach you every part of yourself that you need to embrace. Okay, that's it.